Welcome to episode 25 of our second series on the surnames and early families of Appalachia and the American South. On today's show, we'll investigate 5 more families that were requested by folks just like you. Now, if you're new to the channel, I mix in a bit of history, geography, and trivia to enrich the discussion about the origin and meaning of regional surnames. My main goal is to identify families that have been in the southern United States since before the Civil War, otherwise known as the Antebellum period. Why, might you ask? Well, if you're my age or older, there's a good chance that you know where your recent ancestors originated. Going back further in time, most of us lose touch with our family's past and sometimes fill in the gaps with exotic myths. It promises to be a good show, so I hope you'll join me. Number 1, Sheldon. This habitational surname originated in Wiltshire, Devonshire, and Derbyshire, England during the time of the Kingdom of Mercia. That'd be around the 6th through the 10th centuries. Although it would be easy for a semi-literate family to change Sheldon to Shelton, T-O-N, or vice versa, this surname is nevertheless distinct from Shelton. We covered Shelton in episode 32. It premiered on June 28, 2022. Nonetheless, members of the Sheldon family became a distinguished Anglo-Irish Catholic clan in the 17th century, so your line could be of recent Irish origin. It would not be a Scots-Irish or Scotch-Irish family because that community was distinctly Protestant, and I didn't find it among the traditional surnames of Scotland. It doesn't appear among the traditional surnames of Wales either. In looking for early Sheldon families in Appalachia or the southern United States, I found more than a dozen people not in colonial Virginia or North Carolina, but in New England, in colonial New England. For instance, Jared Dixon Sheldon was born in Chittenden, Vermont in 1813. However, Colonel William Sheldon was born on February 26, 1677 in York County, Virginia. Number 2, Bates, Betts, or Betts. These names could be from the biblical Bartholomew. That was one of Jesus' disciples. Or shortened from boatman, like a person on a boat. It could be of English, Germanic, or Teutonic origin. The S on the end of the name, of course, means the son of Bate or Bet. Bates families have been on the Emerald Isle, that's Ireland, from the time of the plantation era of the 17th century, and it appears in the Scottish records since the days of William Wallace and Robert the Bruce. That would be around 1296. On this side of the Atlantic, James Edward Bates was born in Rutherford, North Carolina in 1758. When he was 22, he married Elizabeth Tubb, T-U-B-B. They went on to have at least 8 young'uns. James Edward died in Hickman, Tennessee in 1820, and Elizabeth died in Hickman also in, 9 years later in 1829. Number 3, Catrill or Catrill or Cotter. Well, this English name Cotter, while the English name Cotter means dweller in or at a cottage, the French suffix el or ell means a small cottage or a small dweller in a cottage. I'm not sure what the French would have done with a small dweller in a small cottage. If you care to give an opinion on that, please do so in the comments. I look forward to reading it. Catrill or Catrill seems to have taken shape in southern and western England. I'm not sure if it had a direct Norman connection though. It seems more likely that it was a blending of an existing English word with a French suffix. I wasn't able to find either form among the traditional names of Ireland, Scotland, or Wales, so I'm confident that it is an English name with some French accent. According to information recorded in Russell Warren Cottrill's family tree, Thomas Catrill was born in Cheshire, England in 1635. He immigrated to Virginia and lived out his life there. He died in New Kent, Virginia in August 1674. He begat quite a line of descendants, so this old family, who at one time dwelled in a cottage on the rustic rolling hills of southern England, is clearly Antebellum. Number 4, Cockerham or Cockerhams. Whereas Catrill was a blending of English words and French words and suffixes to create a family name, Cockerham does the same with Celtic and English elements. Cocker comes from the River Cocker. Cocker is Celtic, and ham is an English suffix for homestead. Ham with two M's could be the source of the suffix. It was applied to a place hemmed in by water. A little thought suggests to me that the earliest Cockerham folks probably lived on or near a meander in the river, somewhere in Cumbria or Lancashire, England. My search for Cockerham among the traditional names of Ireland, Scotland, and Wales failed, but I did find that Cocker was among the surnames of Scotland, and it dates back to the late 15th century. As far as I can determine, William Cockerham was among the first babies with this surname born in the colonies. He greeted the world in Virginia in 1682. He married Mary Wynn. They went on to have a number of kids. Some of their descendants moved to South Carolina and on to Georgia, where another William Cockerham met his lord in 1843. Clearly, Cockerham is an antebellum family in the American South. Number 5, Yeaton. Just as Cocker was a name formed by combining the Celtic river Cocker and the English suffix ham, Yeaton combines elements of two English or Germanic words for river and tun or ton for farmstead estate. The earliest Yeaton families were likewise dwellers and farmers by a river. This English surname is now rare in England, and it's not to be found among the traditional families of Ireland, Scotland, or Wales. The earliest Yeaton folk in America found their way to New Hampshire and Massachusetts. I was able to find that William Yeaton Jr., who was born in New Hampshire in 1766, became one of the earliest members of the southern branch of the family. He died in Virginia in 1853 at the ripe old age of 87. From what I can tell, the Yeatons are one of a few southern families that arrived in the South from New England. Most folks who came to colonial America came straight to the region from across the Atlantic. Well, folks, that's about all I have for you today. I hope you got something meaningful out of the discussion and will join me again here on The Vantage Point. If you'd like a free copy of the list of names that we've covered thus far, and I think there's about 950 or so, write to me at vantagepoint22@gmail.com and I'll send it to you as an attachment. Until we meet again, may the good Lord bless and keep you, may He make His face shine on you and give you peace. Bye-bye.